You know, I'm not really into phones all that much. I find people that love phones are somewhat phony to me. This is the THL T6S, and let's just go ahead and do an uber fast review, and then we'll do like a little bit more of an in-depth review. So, 5 inches, IPS screen, 1.3 gigahertz quad core, about as fast as the Samsung Galaxy S3, dual SIM card support. And it's also a WCDMA phone, but also works with some GSM networks. Go to the website to make sure that your phone can work in your region, or whatever your SIM card is going to work in your region, or whatever. 802.11BGN, and yeah, a decent little phone for under $100. That's the main thing here. It's only 3G. That's the biggest drawback for a lot of people in America and other places where 4G and LTE is a big deal. But if if you just want a basic phone that gets the job done, the camera sucks. That's all there is to it. The camera takes whatever pictures. If you're okay with something just being a phone, and also working out okay for basic applications, web browsing. Some games will work on this just fine. 3D games kind of struggle a little bit, but some games will work just fine on this. But as long as you're okay with that, and you need your phone for even traveling will be really good because of the dual SIM card thing, then this is a decent phone. All right, now let's get just a little bit more into it. The actual quad core that's in here is the MTK 6582M. It's running Android 4.4, and the ROM that it comes with I found to be kind of bubbly, looked like Apple, so I got rid of it and put Nova on here. You can put whatever you want on there as far as the launcher goes. The storage on the inside, the ROM is one gigabyte, so you might be able to play around and hack it with some custom ROMs. You may not need to, because the Android that's on here, it's not cluttered up with bloatware. So this is nothing like what you're going to get from your carrier. You pretty much got a pure Android experience going on. Go out and buy a phone. It's like, hey, the specs are great, and you get home and this thing, you're like, this thing barely runs. It's because there's 90 bloatware applications running in the background. So this one is largely devoid of that kind of nonsense. I hate that kind of nonsense. We only have 8 gigabytes of internal storage. However, there is an SD card slot, a micro SD card slot, and they say that it supports up to 32 gigabyte card. The screen resolution is 854 by 480. That's pretty low. The pixels, yeah, you can see the pixels if you get up really close. The thing I really like about this screen is the fact that it is it really is an IPS display. It's 5 inches. Resolution is not the best out there. But most things to me look really good. The text is very readable, even though you can see the pixels. The text is still really, really easy to read. It's a nice bright screen, and the viewing angles are it gets a little darker about at about 70 degrees. It gets a little darker, and at 90 degrees, I've got too much glare in here, but at 90 degrees you can still see it. It's just really dark, but way, way better than most of the displays out there, especially in this price range. I mean, of course, if you go out and buy a really, really fancy phone, it's going to look better, but that's what you got. Now that brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. The camera on this is pretty whatever. In good lighting outdoors, it looks okay. And it does shoot 1080p video, so it does have that, but still, the lens on the back is kind of crappy. It just doesn't seem to do a very good job at all. And at nighttime, I wouldn't even mess around with it. So if you want this for a camera, then don't get it. Like, really, just go out and get something else. You can probably find a cheaper model that has, worse settings and worse features and that sort of thing, but has a better camera. So if you want it for the camera, no. 5 megapixel camera here and a 0.3 megapixel camera on the other side. It does have a flash, so that can't help at nighttime, but if you want to take like low light videos and that sort of thing, don't. The battery on this, we've got a 1900 milliamp hour battery. And it's a lithium-ion battery. They say that the talk time is 4 hours, standby time is 72 hours. With general and normal use, if you're on Reddit and you're using Gmail or your email client, browsing the web, if you're watching some YouTube videos, you're probably going to be charging this thing a couple of times per day. So this is something you'll definitely want to think about. One thing that's nice, in the box they've included a second battery. So you can charge up that second battery, and if you're like on a trip or something, just swap them out at the airport instead of having to keep running to plug your stuff into a wall. So that is cool. So 1900 milliamp hour battery, not the worst, not the best, but a second battery in the box, not bad. Also, they've included in the box, an earpiece with a microphone. And on the back here, this is a very, very thin phone. I'll get to dimensions in just a second. But they've also included a somewhat translucent black shell for the back. It's just like a shell that clips on the back and then gives you access to your screen. So all that came in the box, which is really cool. The dimensions on this unit are 5.6 inches by 2.8 inches by 0.32 inches. That's 14.39 centimeters by 7.16 centimeters by 0.82 centimeters. And the weight is 4.23 ounces or 120 grams. The last couple of things I want to mention about this, we do have some extras. We have Bluetooth 4.0 built in, and there's even an FM tuner. So if internet radio is not good enough for you, then you can definitely use the FM tuner on this. It can probably be handy when you're, out and about in areas where there's no internet and you want to be able to get on the radio or whatever. Overall, I did find a lot of things lacking and a lot of things that I really wanted, but for the price, I think you're getting a pretty decent phone. And I love the fact that there's 2 SIM card slots. I really like the screen. It did feel somewhat sluggish when I was doing multiple things at the same time. Sometimes the scrolling had a bit of a stutter to it, but again, I keep coming back to for the price, it is, like I said, about as fast. It's almost identical in speed. I ran Antutu benchmark. It's like pretty much identical in speed to the Samsung Galaxy S3. In fact, it's slightly faster than that phone. And I would maybe take this over a used one of those, probably, for the dual SIM card and a few other things. So that's it. Let me know if you guys want to see more devices like this. This is again a cheap phone. We looked at the OnePlus One. This does not compete with the OnePlus One, but it does have a few features like dual SIM card. The OnePlus One, I cannot believe a phone that large that has that many features does not have dual SIM. It blows my mind. So it does have a few features that even that phone does not have, and micro SD card slot. Weird that they can do that in this little $80 phone, or however much the price is whenever you're watching this video. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys want more Android videos, let me know. Maybe we'll do it. There's a lot of guys out there making, Android videos. How many more Android videos do you guys need? Would you guys like my take on it, my more cynical take on Android? I don't know. Nobody knows.